There we go. There we go. All right, my hair is a little bit getting in the way of the little car behind me, but that's okay. Hey, look. There it is. There's the car, right? That car on its road trip. I love it. Alrighty. Pardon me as I check off one of the things I was going to do today. YouTube Live, check. A flourish and a check. Anything I've done on my Pavers and Potholes habit tracker? Do you have your Pavers and Potholes habit tracker? I did one thing. I took my vitamins. What else did I do? I'm working on my first water of the day. Hello, Becky. Long time no see, huh? Fancy Destination, love it. Blonde Cheryl, hi dude. Shannon, Becky, Allison, Shannon, Simply Emma. Nice to see you all. A little bit at a time. I'm drinking water a little bit at a time. We do everything. You guys, we do things a little bit at a time. All the time. When you start, here's a good one. When you start to discover that, it's really kind of mind-blowing. There we go, come in from TT. Yeah. So there we go. We do everything a little bit at a time. Yep, YT, not TT. Exactly. It's all good, German maid. Do not worry. We do everything. We breathe one breath at a time. And we repeat it. We don't store up oxygen and then use it like some other animals do. We need to do it a little bit at a time. There we go, Abbott Elementary. Thank you for letting me know that you did something good in decluttering while we were hanging out together on the YouTube Live. Now I am going to, and this is the way I not trick myself, but into drinking my water, is I will replenish my teacup. At the end of the day, it's pretty much warm brown water, but it gets me to drink it. So Boston Sports Girl, I saw your little coffee cup ×2, so I'm raising mine to you as well. So Abbott Elementary folded clothes while I did my YouTube Live last hour. I am doing a TikTok Live right now for this next hour, so I offer to you this question, this musical question. What can you do while you are listening to this TikTok Live that is going to get your house slightly less cluttered versus just sitting and listening? Now, there we go. Boston Sports Girl says she wrote out her main list during the YouTube, and now she's chunking it down. Yeah. And Spreading Sunshine, it's a Beth double feature. You're right. I'm just on a different channel. It's like I went from channel 56 down to channel 38. So I offer, and just pause and think and look around. Because those of you who don't know me, my name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach, and my coaching is called Destination Decluttered. I do YouTube Lives and TikTok Lives about once a day for an hour. So for this next hour, it's 9:04 a.m. where I am. I'm on the East Coast. Technically, I'm not on the coast. I'm in a landlocked state, but that makes me feel claustrophobic. So because I grew up in a coastal state, however, I consider I can just look over New Jersey and I can see the ocean. So it's 9:04 where I am. I don't know what time it is for you, and I don't know how much time you have to hang out with me. But if you have time to hang out with me, and just to know, you do not need to look at the camera to absorb what I have to say. I love it when I hear people saying they're doing things in addition to listening to me. I don't want a wrapped audience. I don't want you hanging on my every word and sitting there like this. I want you to hear something that gets you moving, and then I want you to start moving. Okay? So there we go. Laura Gimmon Voorhees. Becky's paying bills. Hales, nice to see you. Jen J. And especially because, let me just say this, and the folks who know me for a while and have been following me for a while will know this, but I'm really now showing up on, I used to show up on TikTok for like the last 3 years. I would do all my lives there, and I would actively create videos. I don't do that anymore. I do not actively create videos for TikTok because I just do not care to. I do not, frankly, trust the platform. and because I've seen some changes in it. So I don't want to build stuff on something that's unstable. However, what I realize is that I have a pretty big reach to hopefully reach out to people who are struggling with clutter and don't know that there's help out there, or maybe they've seen help, but it's just not resonating with them. So I show up to do these lives for about an hour to just encourage you to listen to what I have to say and see if it resonates with you. Okay? If it does, great. If it doesn't, no big deal. That's why we all scroll past what doesn't resonate with us. But I also, real quick, there's a mailing list you can get on that's free, destinationdecluttered.com/join. That gives you access to a whole bunch of free things. Free habit tracker you can print out, invites to declutter parties, access to the TV guide, the schedule of when I'm doing my YouTube lives and TikTok lives, and all sorts of other things that I just give to the people who follow me on email. I also don't send out a lot of emails. The other thing I do, which would be goofy if I didn't mention, is I do one-on-one coaching. So that is another service that I offer for people who want some one-on-one kind of really specific help with their cluttering. I don't decluttering. I don't go to your house to do it. We do it on Zoom, but it's even more powerful that way. So there we go. Angie says, I like you as background noise while I organize. It's like having a friend here while I work. Yeah. And a lot of people, if you think you have ADHD, this is a lot of people use my lives for what in the ADHD biz we call body doubling. So if it makes it easier for you, if it feels less alone and less arduous to do what I call some puttering and decluttering while I'm on in the background, yay, awesome. Use this time for good. Get moving, get your body moving, get your brain moving, however you can. Use this time so you're not just sitting there letting something wash over you. Be an active participant. Yeah. Okay, Cat Mama, I will totally post this. I have done that, yes. So my TikTok lives and my YouTube lives are all recorded and uploaded to Destination Decluttered on YouTube. So if you can't, watch this whole one, you can always watch it on repeat. Okay? So, there we go. Let's get into it. Therapy Gal Sue, nice to see you up early and getting organized for the day. Love it. Okay, now, I missed what Laura Voorhees says. There we go. Let me back up. Okay. So, Laura, I think I missed what it says, but you says, still feels like too much, yet much of what I have left I don't want to part with, and I don't want it to sit in boxes in the basement. We plan to do some remodeling in the medium future, but stuck with furniture we don't want because we don't want to get new furniture while we have our daughter's dogs. Okay, one of the ways that might help you to think about that is to realize, and this is kind of a Buddhist thing, Buddhist, it's funny, pronunciation, the wrong syllable, how temporary it is. Stuck with furniture we don't want because we don't want to get new furniture while we have daughter's dog. So this is going to get sad, but like dogs don't live forever, and maybe so that's going to be the amount of time that dog will be with you is finite. There will be an end to that. So remind yourself of the temporariness of the furniture, and that may help you feel better about it. This is temporary. Okay, so the dog is with us until July. Hun, it is already mostly into April. July is going to come. July is going to be here soon enough. Sometimes we have that limbo area that you're not where you were, and you're not where you want to be. In my head, and this is why I talk about things on road trips, you are now in that kind of point of between Chicago and LA on Route 66 where it's nothing but, it's desert. You don't particularly want to be there, but you're there for now and you need to be there in order to get to the end. So maybe just reminding yourself, this is temporary. The dog won't be here for forever. When the dog is gone, then we can buy the furniture we want. So also, the other thing that's really interesting too, because you're hitting something, hey, there we go. What do I want to say? Just offering it from my own advice because I am not perfect. Not at all. Who the heck wants to be perfect? We are moving things out of our basement, and it's really fascinating to me because I have actively, especially because I declutter life coach, been really looking at my items that I keep in boxes or have kept in boxes in the basement, that it's stuff that I want to keep, and yet I don't give it the home it kind of deserves. So if I want to keep it, why is it still in a box in the basement? Now, I'm going to have this conversation with my husband. He's in the other room because a lot of stuff that I saw down the basement, it's funny, 90% of it is his stuff. A lot of it is there for legit reasons. It makes sense in the basement, but there's a lot of sentimental items. There's like books that he has that are in boxes. And the funny thing, he says he doesn't read a lot, but the books are no longer books to read. They're a book that is a symbol of, I might read that someday. I remember getting it when. So just ask yourself, why am I keeping it? If I truly want to keep it, why am I keeping it in a box? And maybe it's because you don't have a place for it in your everyday life. Maybe it is a truly sentimental item and it really doesn't. You don't want it on display. You know? Yeah, and notice this is a one thing. This is a one thing that this is the cool thing that I love about decluttering is that when I'm talking about one category, the same process can be used. Like you can copy and replace the word on it. Like Lita says, sounds like all the clothes we have around that we never wear. Yeah. If I have kept this, if I've decided to keep it, why am I not using it? Notice that just kind of generic thing can be applied to everything. If I have chosen to keep this pair of pants, why am I not wearing them? And then listen for your answer. Why am I not wearing them? Because that can help inform you. Oh, I have a whole subcategory of my clothes that I don't wear that are clothes that I don't wear because they are a different size than my current body. Right? Get curious. Ask yourself questions from curiosity, not judgment, and then be polite to yourself and quiet down and listen for your answers. And ideally, write all this shit down. It helps you get to the end result of what's really happening a lot sooner if you write these things down. Nobody else ever has to see what you write down, except for you. But if you write it down, you get your thoughts out of your head down onto paper. It can be eye-opening when you see the lettered version of what you're telling yourself in your head. Okay? Hope that helps. Now, Elizabeth Ritchie, I did not forget you. Any thoughts on scanning paper memories and storing them somehow, like playbills, paper photos, etc.? Yeah, you know what? You can do it. Nobody's going to say you can't. I think that is an extra step. I would say it depends on how much room they take up and how much room you need. Now, this is funny. I tried to do this the other day and I dropped my phone, so I'm going to be a little bit more careful. But if you look over here, you will see boxes. See those boxes? And there's more along this thing. We are doing stuff in the basement. That's why I have this stuff piled up here temporarily. Okay? Every single one of those boxes has a paper item in it that at the time of that year I decided I wanted to save. I am a collector of memories. I am a collector of memorabilia of my own. I used to collect other things, but those are souvenirs. And I enjoy the tactile version of it. There's a difference between flipping through a playbill and just looking at a scan of the cover. It's really interesting that we live in a world now that we can save so many images of items without taking up a lot of physical space. So you can do that. Now, I have done that I also have done that. I have taken a picture of something and then been more easily able to throw it away. So you can totally do it. What feels right to you? What do you enjoy? Now, I don't mind. You see, here's the thing with me. I don't need a lot of room in my house. We have room in the basement. Now, we live in a small house, do not get me wrong, but I am okay with saying that my paper memories take up space in my home. You may not have that luxury of having a basement. So totally scanning them, but also as you scan them, you're enjoying going through them. I found a couple of playbills in there. Funny thing is I found like a, what do you call it? I used to collect things all the time, like just that whole memory thing, like a program of a Celtics game that I went to. I didn't even know they did that. I know pretty much I went to one Celtics game in my life, but I saw evidence that I've been to two. So here's an interesting thing. Things can happen. You may not remember them unless you have that. But even then, after I saw it, I'm like, oh, I guess I went to two Celtics games. That really doesn't matter to me anymore, so I was okay with recycling them. Okay? So just offer. Okay. So Christine is saying, and I'm just trying to get back up here to make sure. All right. So let me help you with this. I'm just here to help. Okay? Christine says, I feel trapped by these kinds of things, but boy, are they hard to get rid of. Okay, Christine, I would like you and everybody here to think of the items in your home. Think of them as items, individual items, and each one of those items belongs to one of three categories. There's a little bit of overlap, but for the most part, I want you to think of them in these three ways, from easiest to not as easy, but still doable. Surface clutter, stored clutter, sentimental clutter. Now, what I was just talking about right then, playbills and memories and souvenirs, that's sentimental clutter. When I talk about sentimental clutter, my hand goes to my heart because sentimental clutter are the items that tell you stories. Oh, that's the evidence of me going to see Blue Man Group. Oh, I guess I went and saw a Celtics thing. Oh, that's right, we ate dinner at that restaurant. Right? Telling you stories. Yes, sentimental items are. That is the category of items in your home that will be the most difficult out of the three to figure out what to do with. Okay? Sentimental is the one that's the most difficult. But the good news is, if you don't know how to deal with your sentimental stuff just yet, you can swim to the more shallow end of the pool and start there. What do your surfaces look like in your home? Are they covered with sentimental items? They may be, but they may also just be covered with items of what I call the clutter of everyday living. So you can start and you can get used to the habit of saying, and this is what decluttering is. Decluttering is decision making. Decluttering is saying, this item in my home, what is that? Once I know what it is, do I want to keep it or not? And if I want to keep it, where does it go? And if I don't want to keep it, what's the easiest way to get it out of my home? And lather, rinse, repeat. You do that, you're going to be decision making a wicked lot. Now, if you're not used to making decisions and saying, I don't know, that's why your house probably looks like, I don't know. But when you know, you can feel good about what you keep and you can feel good about what you let go. But some decisions will be more difficult than others. Not impossible, but they will take more energy and leave you slightly more depleted. Sentimental items, because you're pretty much time traveling back to when that happened. And time traveling up here can exhaust your body, much like, plane travel can. So just because you're feeling trapped by these kinds of things, but boy, are they hard to get rid of, maybe you're just talking about sentimental items. So back it up. Start with get practice making decisions on your superficial items. As you do that, you're building your muscle of deciding and getting clarity on what you do want and what you don't want. And then as you build your muscle, you're able to go deeper to the stuff that's stored. And even the stuff that's stored is probably sentimental or stuff you thought you were going to use, but you didn't. And then you build your muscle on that. And then you can go deeper. And then you can feel more confident in your strength in the ability to make decisions about sentimental items. Okay? So Christine, if you're feeling trapped and heavy and suffocated, swim to the shallow end. Okay? I hope that helps. I just saw some good news. Judy Dukes, I just saw that. Okay, so Jennifer is saying my paperwork is bad. Why is it? All right, Miss Julie just said, would you repeat that, please? I just said a wicked lot. The good news is, Miss Julie, is that this TikTok Live is being recorded. And by the end of today, it's going to be uploaded to Destination Decluttered on YouTube. So everything I just said doesn't just go away into the ether. I've captured it so you can re-listen to it and write down the stuff. You know? There we go. Now Macy says I don't need to declutter at the moment, but but I just needed to come hear you speak to help declutter my brain. That's decluttering too, you know. Getting your brain not so distracted, but concentrating. Yay. Yay, Judy Dukes. So everybody, and Shannon is saying this too. Judy Dukes was on, I did a TikTok live, a YouTube live last night, and she was saying how she really needed to make some doctor's appointments. And she had been avoiding it, as I like to say, dragging my feet. I got to do it. And with love and encouragement, I said, hey, here's some accountability. How about tomorrow? I'm doing a YouTube live and a TikTok live. And lo and behold, Judy Dukes, check mark. Just like Kat Roby, both appointments scheduled. Good thing for the accountability, or it wouldn't have happened. So thank you. So notice Judy Dukes. One of the tools in your toolkit that helps you do things you want to do and have to do and get to do is external accountability. Internal accountability, not so much. If I promise myself, not so much. But if I promise somebody else, I'm more likely to do it. If I'm public about it. So use that to your advantage. Who can you tell you're going to do something to? You can use me as it. I don't care. But if accountability helps you get stuff done, that is a tool you can use in other areas. Okay? So there we go. All right? Now, good stuff, my lady. All right. Okay. Katie O'Malley says, yes, this is my problem. I think we need help with faster decision-making stress. Faster? Why faster? No faster. How about making a decision in a time that feels right to you so you feel good with your decision? The only way you get better at it is knowing yourself better and knowing more of what you want and what you don't want. Okay? Okay? So, there's that. I just totally dropped off. It's like you climb up a tree and you go off on a branch and then you fall off. So I'm going to climb up the tree again. Susan Page is saying, any advice for filing? Oh, hell yeah. I file, and before I know it, notice that phrase, before I know it, I still can't find files later in the file cabinet. Okay? Yes, I have advice. So first of all, and this is no judgment. It's just an observation, as if I was coming in and like being what do you call that? Like somebody comes in, a consultant. It sounds like your filing system is not giving you the results you want, because the results you want is to be able to find files later in the cabinet. So I would get curious and I would observe your filing system. But what I would say is this. Don't overly complicate it. Susan, I would start with the problems you've had and kind of reverse engineer it. So when you say I can't find files later in the cabinet, what is a specific file or category of paperwork? Because a category of paperwork is what a file is, right? What have you looked for that has been hard to find? Maybe you are filing things by date versus category. I'm all about the categories. Even as a matter of fact, so like I loathe filing cabinets. I loathe them. They are outmoded. They look junky in a home. And I don't think you need as much space as you have that they take up. They're heavy. They're awkward to move. They're unpretty. My files, right here, I'll show you my paperwork for a year. And this is, trust me, this is not starting as an infomercial. No. I only have this, and this is actually heavy. This is my mother's. See this? This right here? This is my file cabinet, and this is actually my mother's, because I had 2 of these. And see, it's got categories. And when I get a piece of paper from that category, I put it in there. Boom, it's done. Okay? So maybe you experiment with it. The other thing too is, and a really important thing about paper filing is, what year is it? Now notice I said this is my this year paperwork. At the end of the year, I empty this out and I recycle a lot of it. I keep things for a year just in case I might need it. But at the end of the year, if I hadn't needed it, for many of those categories, I can easily put it in a bag to get shredded, or just file it, or just, throw it in the recycle bin. Other categories I do keep, like, if we have receipts about when we got our cars like worked on or stuff like that there. Okay? So, but notice, yeah, Mama Pepper says that's how much I have too. Yay! Good. But notice how many years worth of paperwork do you have? Okay? Yeah. And notice it can only keep a finite amount of paperwork. It can keep a finite amount of paperwork. I don't know why I just repeated that, but it's a small amount. So a smaller container sometimes can be better because it forces you to ask yourself, do I really need to save this? And sometimes the answer is a clear yes. Sometimes the answer is a clear no. And sometimes you're like, I don't know. There's a wicked lot of I'm not sure, but I'm going to put it in here anyway. Paperwork, but it's just for 2025. My 2024 paperwork has been taken out of there. And the stuff that I needed for my taxes, I used for my taxes. The stuff that I don't need to save, I put in a bag for shredding. But in the year, I like to keep it because it makes my nervous system feel safe to know that I have that stuff in case I need to access it. Have I had to access a lot of that stuff? Hell no. But it's a system that works for me. So I say this to you. What is a system you have set up that is not giving you the result you want? You've got like a little conveyor belt. You've got a little factory. You start doing something here with the hopes that at the end, it's going to be like this. And that end result is what I call my destination. What do I want? And these are the 3 things I want you to think about. Okay? One is, how do I want it to look? Now, I don't want the look of a filing cabinet in my house, so I don't have one. I have this thing. How do I want it to function? Function is always easy. I want it to be easy to find. I want it to be easy to file it, easy to find it if I need it, and easy to throw it away when I'm done. Now, Painting of a Duck says you can scan or take a photo of paperwork if it's older and unsure, but paper does not take up, the true paper you have does not take up as much room as you think you have. I would say that, the year, so think about it. An entire year's worth of paper for me is maybe barely 3 inches. So then I extract all the things that I totally don't need to keep. And I'm thinking of most of mine is going to be credit card receipts because I have a lot of credit cards. I still like to get the statements in the mail. But I also know that I can look at that stuff online if I need it in hindsight. Okay? I am not a huge fan of how do I want to say this? Like digitizing things without really saying, do I really need to digitize this at all? Frankly, because I find I can digitize things like nobody's business. It's a fairly boring thing. I would rather spend my time feeling good about the inch worth of paper I get in a year versus spending that time than, spending my time gaining an inch worth of space in my house. Okay? So sometimes when we put things from one storage container to another, we forget that the most important thing is what happens between those things. Is not just taking it off the shelf and putting it in a box. It goes from a shelf to a box, container to container. But is saying, do I want to keep this? does the me of today, I'm looking at the date, Thursday, April 10th, 9:30 a.m. I used to want that CD because this is what we're going to be doing in the afternoon of my house. My husband's going to go through his CDs. Do I really need to keep this Beach Boys Greatest Hits CD, or can I donate it? Not just blindly, without asking yourself, without decluttering, saying, do I need to keep this in this way, in this container? That, to me, is the crucial point. That's the difference. And this is one of the reasons, as I've mentioned all along, we have to clean everything out of our basement. Now, am I going to force my husband to get rid of all his CDs? No, that's just going to get him to dig his heels in. Versus dragging his heels, he's going to dig them in. But what I said to him was, I know, because this is how I talk, I know that some of those CDs you bought initially because they were the only way in the 90s you could get a version of that song. Now, some of these songs are going to be common songs, Beach Boys. Other ones you may want to keep because they are going to be less easy to access because the world has changed since you bought that CD. And now you can do a little typey on your phone and find that song. Other CDs are going to be probably going to be really sentimental. Now, my husband helps people make music. So he has a category of CDs that are music that I have a credit on, right? So notice the difference. Do I need to keep this? Yes, I want to keep this because. No, I don't need this because. And notice that it won't be all or nothing. It's going to be somewhere in between. Asking yourself the question, the musical question. Could I live without this? Could I live without this version of Herb Alpert's Whipped Cream and Other Delights? Now, that is an album that I have loved since I was a little kid. So, yeah, I might consider keeping that CD because I remember when it came out on CD and it was a big deal. Do I have a copy of that on vinyl? You bet I do. I probably got it at a thrift store because at a certain point in life, every single thrift store you went to and looked through records, of which I've done for decades, you would always find Whipped Cream and Other Delights, right? So, do I need to keep that? Yeah. Could I listen to that music on any of my electronic devices? Yes. But I want to keep that record. I want to keep that CD. Okay. Yes, and as Leilani says, that is a classic vinyl album cover. We all know it. That lady dressed in whipped cream. I remember my dad had that record. I can picture it in the basement of the house I grew up in and thinking she was the most beautiful girl in the world. Yeah. Oh my God, Herb Alpert, just so you guys know, that man is 90 years old. He is on tour now. I cannot go see him. We cannot go see him when he's in Philly because my husband has a gig that night. But we are going to go try to see him. We saw him in Lanny Hall about 13 years ago. It was great. So, man, he's still doing what he loves. Yeah. Okay. So, Gardening Hipster says, love it, Gardening Hipster. Very cool. How about, this is like new, and I'm saving it till I find the person. Okay. Then take some effort. Make some effort to find the person. Make some effort to find the person. I've done that myself within the past 3 weeks. My God, I don't know why my voice is getting like this, but I do that myself. I was able to mail to a complete stranger at my own cost the t-shirt that I bought when I saw Elvis Costello at the Cape Cod Coliseum in 1983. August of 1983. Elvis. I used to wear that t-shirt. I do not fit into that t-shirt anymore because I am not the size I was when I was 16, 17? 16, because it was the day before my birthday. Okay? I am not the size I was when I was 16 years old. Have I carried that t-shirt with me for 40 plus years now? Yeah. Did I look at it recently and say, you know what? I really do not need to keep this. I took a picture of it. And you know what I did when I took a picture of it? I said, who do I know who might want this? It's not going to be me, but I'm ready to let it go. And then my mind said, hey, Peter Fay, he's a big fan of Elvis. Ask him. He is not going to fit into it because if I don't fit into it, he's a boy. He's totally not going to fit into this t-shirt. But he may know somebody of a size and of an interest in Elvis that wants this. I did that. I reached out to him. Hey, here's a picture. Do you know anybody who would want this? Yes, I do. My friend Jill. Okay, give me your address. I will mail it to her. So find the person, Gardening Hipster. Yeah, and I love that I was able to send off that t-shirt, Hawkeye. I am psyched about that. I was so psyched. I wrote her a little note. I told her about when I got it. I researched before I let it go. I looked up to find out what date it was. Later on, when I was going through my paper memorabilia, I found the ad that I had cut out from the Boston Phoenix for that very same show. So then it was funny. I could find that info in the historical records, the paper records, but I also found it online. I sent her a nice little note. I wished it well. I sent it off to its new home. Just a few days ago, I got a very nice thank you note from her. You know, it felt good to send that t-shirt. Was it a t-shirt that I was going to donate to just the Goodwill? Hell no, it was too good. Have I since then also found a few little things from my vintage clothing collection that's too good for the Goodwill, but I have a vintage clothing store in my town, that is run by two awesome women. Yes, so you know what I did yesterday on the way down to my Pilates class? I had a little bag and I dropped it off and I said, here's some treasures, have some fun, and I just gave it to them. Yeah. Now, Gardening Hipster says, I love that idea. I don't want stuff to burden others later on down the road. Right. So ask them permission. Ask them permission before, would you like this? Is a question. And allow them to say yes and allow them to say no. And honor what they say. Now, Peter got in touch with his friend, Jill, who I don't know if that was her name. I got to check. And she said yes. So I sent it to her. So yes, do not burden people with things, but people who want things, it won't be a burden. It will be a joy. Don't be a burden, be a joy. You know? 3 Cats in a Bun says, do you think garage sales are worthwhile or do they create much work? And this is when I get all like, I don't know, what do you think about it? Now I say that jokingly, but it is serious. Doesn't matter what I think garage sales are worthwhile or not. What it matters is to you. Now, I'm getting curious because if you think they just create more work, then you may not want to have a garage sale. If you think it's going to create money, you might want to have a garage sale. I have had garage sales. I no longer have garage sales. Christine is offering garage sales are so much work. I personally will never do that again. Yeah. This is a phrase I use for many things. So I will offer it to you so you can add it into your phrase book. It is fun until it isn't. Okay, Butterfly agrees. Everybody has their own opinion. Like bumholes, everybody's got one. Okay? Hawkeye thinks garage sales are good if you have larger ticket items, but small ticket items are, you know. I have done garage sales throughout my life. They are a lot of work. So make sure that before you start the work, is what you might possibly get worth that effort and time and energy. What I have found is I'm doing, Gardening Hipster says it, I put a free box out a few times a year. It makes me happy to see people go and to need it. So I have a permanent free sign that I use on the lawn, and I would put things out there. Just take it. Yeah, your time sitting there costs something too. Yeah, your time getting things, tagging things, shelving them, putting them on the shelf, taking them off the shelf, all of that is energy and time expended. I want to make sure that you get paid for your money that you get paid for the hours that you put into it. You know? So I offer this. If you want to do it, experiment with it. But if your gut reaction is, I think that's going to be a lot of work for not a lot of money, note that before you start and do something else and know that you can do something else with your stuff. Jana Francis says, I focus on selling the high ticket items on Facebook Marketplace. Right. So I have done that too. I have different ways of getting the good stuff out. My sister, I totally benefited from the fact that my sister for a number of years had a shop that after I used to have a space that I used to sell vintage and mid-century things. I had a lot of stuff because it wasn't my stuff, but it was stock for the store. And then I moved and then I didn't have it. And then it piled up for a while. And then I would do flea markets and I would do yard sales and I would do things like that. So I don't do that anymore. For a while I did it and I didn't mind it and I had fun. And then I am okay with letting a lot of stuff go for free. But if I know something's a high ticket item, I'm going to go to the right people who are going to pay that money. I'm not going to try to sell a Bertoya ottoman that I paid $20 for at a garage sale, because somebody at a garage sale, the person who sees it at a garage sale, is going to know that that's a diamond in the rough. Instead, I'm going to put it on eBay and get $200 from it, which is exactly what I did. But people don't go to garage sales to pay a lot of money. They go for bargains. Okay? So there's a lot of thoughts and feelings. What are yours? Write them down. See if that's a project you even want to start. And if the answer is no, that's okay. There are other ways. You can get rid of your stuff for money or get rid of your stuff for no money. Okay? There we go. I love it. Elizabeth says, my kid's school is collecting books this month, so I'm decluttering books like crazy. Right? I love it. Yeah. So good stuff. Yep. Now we go. And Miss Vaughn says, kept stuff with memories for years. Now the memory is enough. You know what I'm doing now? I am in the phase, and I've done it for the last 5 years. I keep my memories in a book. I keep my memories in my digital photos. But I write down. I have like the digital copy, but the physical copy is me writing down one sentence about what I did. Went to Epcot today. Ate a really good BLT. Do I have a picture of the BLT? No. Do I have some pictures of Epcot? Yeah. But I do not save as many things sentimentally because I have another place to put the visual reminder of a memory. Okay? Yeah. Yeah, it's fun until it isn't. Many things I've done in my life were fun, and then it turned out not to be fun. So I enjoy the fun, but when it's not fun, kind of like the Ben and Jerry's guys, if it's not fun, why do it? Sometimes you don't have that choice, but many times you do. Why are you doing things that are not fun? If you have to do things that are not fun, how can you make them fun? Okay? There we go. Now 33 Cupcakes says, and I missed the one, but it says 5 families added items and took turns watching it. Lemonade stand made an extra $70. You know, you can make it fun. If you're going to do it, make it fun. But if you're not having fun, if the idea of it does not spur you into like, ooh, that could be fun, really question it, because you're going to need to devote energy to it, you know? And so notice that. Good stuff. I love it. So funny. Let me just do this one thing behind me here. Shutting that off. Thank you. Okay. So what time is it? What time is it? 9:43 a.m. Eastern on Thursday, April 10th, 2025. Here you are, here I am. We both have some hours of the day ahead of us. How's your day looking? When you look at it, are you feeling good? Have you written down what you're going to do today? And not even just on a list, but have you mapped it out hour by hour? I have, and it works for me. So that's what I suggest. This is what my Thursday looks like. Here, look, it's, what am I thinking? Presidential flashcards. I have stuff scheduled. I've gotten some of it done. TikTok Live, check. YouTube Live, check. I have a phone call at 10 o'clock. I have another phone call at 11:30. And then I have a big swath of time that is flexible. So what's your day looking like? Hey, Kara, nice to see you. I hope the weather's a little bit better in Mass. I got to start looking. I leave for tomorrow to help my mom with her clutter. I have some stuff scheduled, and I color code what I schedule. I have a color code. My code is, there we go. Now, Christine printed the pavers and potholes. I'm going off of that today. Awesome. Speaking of, I'm all in the colorful mode nowadays. So this is my pavers and potholes for April. And notice I was having some fun with it. I made some little zoopy lines with the dates. Instead of doing it in black and white like I had for years, a client of mine was like, I like to make a rainbow. And I thought, oh, that sounds like fun. That sounds like fun. I'm doing rainbows this year. Maybe next month I'll go and have it be, Roy G. Biv it down this way, right? So you got some good stuff planned. You got some stuff that's going to make you feel good today planned. And if not, yeah, is it still sweater weather? It's still sweater weather, huh? I'm I'm totally going to bring my coat. I'm totally going to, because I would rather be a little bit warm than a little bit cold. So there we go. Okay, so this is interesting. Kara, who I also thought of, is true. It's still a little chilly. Gardening Hipster and Kara, you probably should get to know each other because you're probably both gardening hipsters. Oh, you can see your breath this morning? Spring, I started my garage, bringing your mom to your neuro. Okay, good today. There we go. What was that cool spreadsheet? OCD and me loved it color-coded. Now notice 33 cupcakes. It's like, ooh, what's that color? You know? So what it is it's pretty much a glorified, this is me selling my stuff. This is a glorified piece of graph paper. I call it the Pavers and Potholes Habit Tracker. And you get it when you sign up for my mailing list, and it's free. The mailing list is free. It's a download. You get that. You get access to a page that has all sorts of good stuff on it. And what it is, there's blank lines here, and there's blank boxes here. And it is a tool in your toolkit that helps, well, it helps me anyway. It helps me do those little things every day that I know will make me feel good. Now, you can put anything on yours that you want. If you are trying to declutter, I highly recommend just putting on declutter for X minutes a day. And notice I don't say hours, I say X minutes. Declutter 10 minutes a day, a little bit at a time. Okay? And a lot of mine have to do with my health, physical health. Getting water, doing my vitamins, going for a walk, doing some stretchies, right? Yay. Oh, Kara, I wish you luck with that. I know how that can be. And I'm psyched, and I hope that they are doing more with Lewy body than when my dad had it, because he did not get diagnosed for years, and it was a bummer. So good luck with you, and thank you. I'm so glad to hear that you're bookending the thing that you have to do with something that's going to give you solace and make you feel better. Okay? So the habit tracker is just something that you do it that one day, you said I did it, and you fill in a little paver. You pave the way. You pave the way towards what you want. And what I want to do is feel better in and about my body. So that's why mine is that, but yours may be just something different. On the days that I don't do those things, of which there are some, you will see some like little zeros, some little O's. That is a pothole. That is a pothole. It is nothing more than a pothole. What did I not do yesterday? Oh, actually, I can fill this one in from yesterday. But the day before, I did not drink the amount of water that I thought I should. So I put a pothole there. Then the next day, I just got back on it. And I said, okay, let me make sure I drink more water. So what I did was I filled up this thing. And then I drink from it. And then I pour it into my tea. Then I fill it up again. And if I do 2 of these in a day, I feel that is pretty good. Anne is asking how you sign up for the mailing list. And I'm such a dork. I totally missed that. Wicked easy. Wicked easy. Okay? My name is Beth. My coaching is called Destination Decluttered. And I have a website. DestinationDecluttered.com. Hello, Boston accent. .com. Right? DestinationDecluttered.com. On that homepage, you scroll just to the bottom of it. There is a little form that says sign up for the mailing list. All you do is put your email address in. You promise you're not a robot. You hit enter, submit, send, whatever the name is. And then if it works the way it's supposed to, you should immediately get an automatic email that says thank you. In that automatic email is a link to a secret page. We call it the secret page. We call it the members only club. We call it the speakeasy page, because the only people who know how to get into it are the people on the mailing list. When you click that link to that page, you will get all sorts of free stuff. And one of the free buttons there is download your monthly habit tracker. So how to sign up for the mailing list? DestinationDecluttered.com. Sign up there, get the free stuff. And then occasionally I will send emails out. Very rarely, because I don't like to spam up. I don't like to clutter up your mailbox. Okay? So, I love it. Anne says, great, former Northern, appreciated, wicked. Use it in a sentence today. Yes, I live in PA right now, but I'm from Mass, and I will not, you can pry the wicked out of my hands before I'm like the last, I had a wicked good time. And then I keel over on my deathbed when I'm 104. And it didn't mean that I was just shopping at Newbury Comics. Newbury Comics, I had a Newbury Comics t-shirt from 268 Newbury Street, the OG store. And I sent it to somebody who's going to give it to somebody who will put it in the archives. Right? Yeah. Thank you, kid. Yeah. Hey, kid. Yeah. All right, chief. I love it. And it's so funny because I do kind of transmorgify. My Boston accent comes out when I'm tired, when I'm drinking, when I'm talking to my sister. And man, I leave tomorrow. I drive up to Mass. I'm going to be there Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I drive home Monday. Totally. I will assimilate back into my voice will turn. So it'll be wicked funny on Tuesday when I do like my Tuesday, April 15th YouTube live and TikTok lives. I might still have the Boston. You can still smell it on my breath. Very funny. Very funny. Good stuff. Elizabeth, you're welcome for this live. This is what I do. This is what I do. This is what I do. I show up in your life and I share with you what worked for me. I grew up in a cluttered household with collectors and thrifters and antiquers and sellers and all of that stuff. And I loved it until I didn't. There we go. My son bought me a magnet that says wicked smart. Of course, because you're wicked smart. You wouldn't be hanging out with me. I do not hang out with people who are not wicked smart. All right? So, yes, this is a wicked pissa group. It is a wicked pissa group. And if you, what is it, Jay? A baby whale? Oh, God, that cracked me up. But yeah, so I do these TikTok lives and YouTube lives pretty much every day. It's at a different time every day, so you have to check the TV guide. I even put the little TV guide logo on the page, the secret page, so you know when to tune in. Because if this helps you, if this helps you, yay, that's why I show up. I do not do this just to hear myself think. Hear myself speak. I do this because hopefully the words in my head, I run them through my heart. I truly believe them to be useful or entertaining or ideally like a combo of the two. And then when they come out of my mouth, that's the way we communicate and we connect. So I put out the good stuff. And if it falls on you and you dig it and you use it, yay. So yeah, can't wait to check out the Speakeasy page. Awesome. Everybody's welcome, but you just got to sign up. It's not just for everybody. It's for the people who say, yes, I want to take that one little step and sign up for the mailing list. And then you get a reward. And then you go to the page and you say, this is what's there. There is the schedule of the decluttering parties, because we do decluttering parties, where you pay a ticket. Half of your ticket goes to a good cause. The other half goes to me, because I'm a good cause. And we all show up on Zoom. And we declutter parts of our home that we've been dragging our feet on. So when you get there, you'll see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 declutter parties are scheduled for April. Now, I will not be on the East Coast for any of them. So I am showing up. I'm going to be waking up early on the West Coast to make those happen. So I happily do that. So you can get your tickets. You can download and print your Pavers and Potholes monthly habit tracker. I do one-on-one coaching. So from that page, you can schedule your one-on-one coaching consultation. I got to see if I have any slots available. You can listen to the Destination Decluttered Tunes playlist on Spotify. Then there's the DD Live schedule under the TV guide. And then there's a link also, because all of my YouTube lives and TikTok lives are recorded, and I upload those recordings so you can watch them on the Destination Decluttered page on YouTube. At the moment, we have over 650 videos there. So Christine says the YouTube videos really do help to have on in the background when doing stuff. That's great. That means when I'm not here to do this live, because I travel a lot, and sometimes like this time when I'm going to Palm Springs, did you hear that? Palm, P-O-M, like the pomegranate juice, Palm Springs. Like a pom-pom. Zip it. Okay, focus. Sometimes when I travel, I go what I call off the digital grid, which means I'm not off the grid because that's not how I travel, right? But what I say is I go off the digital grid, so I will not be live. And I let you know that, so you're not expecting, where's Beth? I thought she was going to be live. No, I schedule that. But I leave you in good company because you've got 650 shows to watch. There we go. Lorraine says, hey, I came up with a plan, Dateline clean time. I clean for one entire Dateline show. There you go. If that works for you, awesome. Make it happen. You know? There we go, Abbott Elementary. Yay, the back porch. Sweeping the dog hair from my beautiful back porch, which has remained our decluttered, and is our happy place. Now, you know why it has remained decluttered, Abbott Elementary? That stuff doesn't happen by magic. You, my dear, you have maintained your decluttered back porch. You have made that happen. You willed it into being. So don't think it happens by magic. It happens by action. But you should take credit for what you are making happen. This looks damn good. And I changed it from looking cluttered to decluttered, which is one part of the process. And then once it was decluttered, I have maintained it so it remains that way. Notice the main, there's a little rhyme there, right? So yay, and you know how you did it? A little bit at a time. One dog hair at a time. Now, Grandma Bird says late again. Hello, there's no late here. There's no late here. We have 4 minutes, but then I do need to sign off because I have a phone call I need to get on. I need to hop onto. But we got 4 minutes together. And this is being recorded, and by the end of today, it's going to be uploaded to Destination Decluttered on YouTube. And it's on the, I even categorize it. It's like the April Lives playlist, okay? Now, I don't know where it comes from. It says a wizard is never late, says Christine. But I love that. Yeah, late is a construct. At least right here. Some people will say, yes, you're late, and no, you can't come into the class. I say, hooray, you're here. Let's make the most of our time together. Okay? So, you're here. There we go. I'll try again tomorrow. Okay, Grandma Bird. Grandma Bird, if you're late, you may not have known when I started. If you're on the mailing list, remember, you have access to the secret page that has the TV guide on it. Now, I could be really snarky and say, go look there, but I will let you know. Tomorrow, Friday, April 11th, I'm up wicked early because I promised I'd show for you guys, but then I have coaching, and then I got to hit the road, and it's like a 6-hour drive back up to Mass. 7 a.m. YouTube Live tomorrow. 7 a.m. I show up for you guys. Oh, I give and I give. 7 a.m. YouTube Live Eastern Time tomorrow. 8 a.m. TikTok. Okay, both ones of those are for hours. Write that down. If you want to show up on time, that's the time it starts. You know? One success I've already unpacked from your vacation. Miracles. Yay. Not a miracle, though. You did it. Your head and your heart coordinated with your hands to open up that suitcase and move those items either back to where they belong or into the washing machine. So you did it. Do not take advantage of take credit for what you do. Take credit. You do good stuff. You unpacked. You verb. You are making things happen. Anytime you use a verb, you're making stuff happen. I sat on my ass and did nothing? Yes. I got up off my ass and I got moving? Yes. What are the verbs you're using to describe what you did today? Lorraine folded. I folded laundry that was on my bed so I can sleep on it. Awesome. Lorraine folded. I coached. I showed up for TikTok Live. I showed up for YouTube Live for the past 2 hours. After this, I'm going to get up and I'm going to get on a phone call. You know? Now, Gardening Hipster says, does anyone else make a list and add things you just did to check them off? Yes. Yeah, why the hell not? It feels good to feel that sense of accomplishment. So why not milk it? It's not like you didn't do it. It's not like you're lying to yourself. You did it. So why not notice the wonderful relationship between doing something and feeling good about it? So do something that's going to make you feel good about what you're doing. And if you're about to do something and you don't know if it's going to make you feel good, you might want to pause. Okay? Now, speaking of pausing, I'm going to wrap it up, you guys. Okay, so this is where we're slowing down. I'm pulling to the side. I'm pulling the bus over. We're going to sit down. I got to get out, and the bus is not going to get on its way until tomorrow. It could be the Double Dutch bus, maybe. It could be the Magical Mystery Tour bus, whatever bus. But I am not necessarily driving it, but I'm like the person there with the microphone pointing out the things that might be of interest to you. Okay? So I've loved this time together, but I got to scoot. I will be back tomorrow. I won't be around for the weekend, but you don't have to. You get to know where I am to help you by signing up for the mailing list. DestinationDecluttered.com/join. See you on the mailing list, and I'll see you tomorrow morning perhaps. And if not, you do what's best for you. Okay? Bye.